Hi guys, good morning. Welcome back to every NG, where we give you all the gist on everything that is happening around you. And as usual, for days we've been giving you the live updates on the BBNaija reunion. And there is a lot going on. Trust me, there's so much going on, and I can't wait to give you the gist. So today, on the day 6, today's edition was mostly relationships outside the house. So of course we know that the drama that happened inside the house is nothing compared to the drama that was happening outside the house. Now the housemates were going on and on about who unfollowed who followed who did this, who did that. It was just really dicey, to be honest. It was a whole lot to deal with. So now we're exploring Katrina's relationship with everybody. Now we all know that the boss lady unfollowed everybody. She unfollowed even her closest friend Lucy, everybody out the window. I don't care about you. So Ebuka kind of asked her about that situation. Why did you feel the need to unfollow your friends? And she said she unfollowed them because they didn't care about her, and she didn't care about them as well. And it was explainable because she spent like 2 weeks in the house, so she didn't have time to bond with as much people except Lucy, right? So T-Badge butts in here. I was like, I think the reason she unfollowed us is because we attended Nengi's birthday party. And I'm like, that can't be. No. I'm not going to believe that. That better not be true. So that was what Tolani Badge thought. And she gave her reason, saying that, after, people were posting about Nengi's birthday party, they were getting the unfollow from Katrina. So it kind of added up that it was because of that she unfollowed them. However, Watoni was of the opinion that Katrina was unfollowing people because they weren't engaging with her posts. You don't like, you don't comment, you don't share, then she won't follow you. And I was like, hey, wahala, wow. So Katrina, responding to T-Badge, said she doesn't like frenemies. So she's not cool with Nengi, and she won't be friends with anybody that's cool with Nengi. And I was just like, so you want your enemy to be your friend's enemy as well? So you're of the opinion of inherited enemies. I thought she was like, so you like for people to inherit your enemies? Where does that work? Even Praise had to explain, like, that's the kind of person Katrina is. She wants you to inherit her enemy. Literally, she wants you to inherit her enemy. So that panned out in a certain way, and it wasn't favorable for a lot of people. Now Katrina and Lucy's issue now came into question, and Katrina was like, look, I love Lucy as a person. I really do. I love her. She's like a sister to me. I remember the first time I offended her in the house and I had to go and beg her, and that was how our relationship started. We were cooking together, cleaning together, doing all sorts together. So I really don't know why we became what we are right now. So when she said that, I was like, okay, all right, what's going on? And then she started explaining how, she unfollowed Lucy for some reasons. Like, she unfollowed Lucy because Lucy wasn't loyal. And Lucy was like, what do you mean by loyalty? When you came out of the house, we were friends. I was following you around. You were following me around for my media tour as well. We're doing things together. We're talking, we're texting, we're chatting. So where did this "you're not loyal" come from? Is it because I'm friends with Nengi? And again, Nengi is in the center of this situation. Nengi wasn't at the reunion. She wasn't present at the reunion. So it was like, okay, so she's not there to say much about what was happening. Now, Ebuka said, okay, but what about Lekon? You unfollowed Lekon as well, and Lekon didn't have an issue with you. Lekon barely has an issue with anybody. So what was the issue? And Katrina said that Lekon embarrassed her online. So she gave a backstory. She said in the house, her and Lekon had a mother-son relationship. She used to call him son, he used to call her mother. He used to help alongside Neo with the cooking. He was very helpful to her. So coming out of the house, and when he won, she was commenting on his post saying son, and Lekon would ignore her, and it was painful. I mean, when they give you a lie, they choke. It used to pain. So she said when that happened, Lekon wouldn't like her comments, and seeing that she's verified, it's hard to miss her comments. Lekon wouldn't like her comments. Lekon wouldn't respond to her comments. He wouldn't even act as though he saw something like that. And then she now said the icon started dragging her and saying, why are you calling her king's son? And I understand that because the BBNaija fans can be a lot sometimes. So I understand where she was coming from, saying that she was carrying the relationship they had inside the house, outside the house, to kind of build on it. and Lekon wasn't reciprocating, and then it now looks like she was fanzing and she was, disrespecting the Icons kings. And of course the Icons don't understand the dynamics of their relationship, so they dragged Katrina online. And Katrina even came, she said she came to tell Lekon that, Lekon, see, this is it though, your guys are dragging me, what am I going to do, what's going on here? And Lekon was like, oh, just catch cruise with it, and she's like, I can't catch cruise with it because they won't understand. You need to, even if it's once, respond, and Lekon was like, how many comments can I respond to? Understandable in his part as well, because Lekon had the gazillion followers. How many comments can he really respond to, at the time? So when she complained, Lekon actually apologized, and then they moved on from that. Now back to the Lucy thing. Katrina said that she felt Lucy was a frenemy because Lucy was cool with Nengi, which wasn't the impression she gave when she came out of the house. So Katrina was saying that she was trash talking Nengi, that Lucy was trash talking Nengi, and even she was trying to do damage control with Lucy's lawyer after Lucy's interviews. And now Lucy went ahead to be cool with Nengi and did not notify her. So it was really difficult for us to get to the point where she said she had a problem with Lucy not telling her, because Ebuka was like, okay, Lucy has expressed herself. Lucy is saying that she was a good friend to you to the best of her knowledge, and you're saying she wasn't loyal or committed. And at a point Lucy was like, are we even married? What's all this loyalty and commitment? Am I supposed to stick with only you? I was in the house with 20 other people. How is this supposed to happen? So you're saying she wasn't committed, you're saying she wasn't this, she wasn't that, and you're not hitting it. You're not telling us why exactly you unfollowed her. So Katrina was like, oh, Lucy was saying a lot of stuff about Nengi and pitting Nengi and Erica together. I remember that Lucy's interview where she was like, have you seen Nengi? When she was asked about the Katrina, I beg your pardon, the Kidwire, Nengi and Erica situation. So that really, it was a bit dicey for the both of them. Now, after everything, because it was difficult for them to get to the point where they were calm, they kept on going back and forth. And Lucy was like, I don't have a beef with Nengi. I don't know what gave you the impression that I had a beef with Nengi. When I came out of the house, I was just answering questions honestly. So I don't particularly have a beef with Nengi. So I don't know what gave you that impression, but we are cool. And our issues were in the house. It ended in the house. We came out and everybody behaved themselves. Now, Katrina even got emotional at the point. She was like, I know how I felt about this. I took her as a sister. She was the only one that I had a photo shoot with. She was the only one that would visit my house. She was the only one that had access to me 247. Like, I would literally be in the middle of business and Lucy would call me to say she has an issue and I would drop everything for her. And I really felt Katrina's pain, but I feel like both of them had a miscommunication issue, because Katrina did not say this is what you're doing to annoy me to Lucy, and Lucy did not know. But Katrina felt like, if you're my friend, you should know why I unfollowed you. And I was like, so that's a little bit dicey, because you are following me sending a very, 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 very rash message. You understand? Like, you're going too far. If you were not talking to me or you weren't responding to my messages, that's different. But you're unfollowing me. Everybody can see that. So obviously you're making the matter bigger than it's supposed to be. So Katrina started crying. She walked out. Nobody followed her. And then she came back. And when Ebuka now asked her, she was like, all Lucy needed to do was to tell me, oh, I'm now back to being friends with Nengi. So maybe, is it possible, because I'm asking, Katrina isn't cool with Nengi. So is it possible that it was because Lucy wasn't cool with Nengi that Katrina wasn't cool with Nengi, and then she felt betrayed when Lucy now became cool with Nengi and left her in the dark? This is why you shouldn't inherit your friends' enemies. This is why, because you put yourself in a dicey situation. So yeah, they just had an issue of miscommunication, in my opinion. And Lucy felt like Katrina should have spoken up, which is what people usually do. If you have an issue, you speak up, or you send a message somewhere or another, instead of unfollowing me and then not saying anything. Like, am I a mind? I don't read minds, so how am I supposed to know that you have an issue? So yeah, we left that. Then we went to another issue that the viewers were not aware of. You know how last season's reunion, we saw that Elo, Ghana Jollof, and Diane's situation that we don't know of until the reunion. Now, there was an issue with Kaisha, Lucy, and Katrina. They had a boat cruise, and according to Kaisha's explanation, which all of them agreed with at the time, her mom wanted to come along. Her mom was like, Sisi Eko, Sisi Emi, stuff like that. People that are really... they like to feel young and do stuff and just have fun. Like, she's not old, so she wants to have fun. So she wanted to go with her child. And Kaisha was like, mommy, this thing is a housemaid thing, but I'll ask them. So she asked, and then everybody was cool. So her mom came on the boat cruise, and according to Kaisha was like, I don't know, for some reason my mom liked Katrina and wanted to take pictures with her. Now this situation is really, because everybody would feel a type of way when their family is involved, when their mom, their parents especially, get involved in situations like this. So Kaisha was like, my mom told me that she wanted to take pictures with Katrina. Now she actually told my sister, that's Kaisha's sister, that she wanted to take pictures with Katrina. And Kaisha's sister went to tell Katrina. Now, only for Kaisha's sister to go tell Katrina, and Katrina, according to Kaisha's explanation, Katrina told Kaisha's mom to come to her to take the picture. And I was like, I know you're the boss lady, but... So when she said that, Katrina was like, no, I heard, when your sister came to meet me, I heard manager. That was why I said what I said. And I'm going to respect myself because your mom is involved. But I particularly heard manager. I did not hear mom. I didn't hear mom because it was loud. There was loud music. So that was why I said the person should come down to me. And Kaisha was like, no, don't give that excuse. Because I also, my mom also told Lucy, because she wasn't sure how, Katrina would respond to my sister. So she told Lucy, saying that, they're both housemates, they were friends. So she told Lucy, and Lucy said she told you, unless Lucy is lying. So if Lucy told you, my sister told you, how are you still assuming that it's a manager? So Katrina was like, Lucy told me after your sister had told me. And I was like, yeah, but did you hear mom though? Because if you heard mom, you would have at least gone to meet her. Yes, you're the boss lady, is trademarked, everything, but you'd have at least gone to meet somebody's mom instead of asking her to come down to meet you. Like, that was a lot. That was a whole lot to deal with. And I wasn't comfortable with it at all. So when she did that, a whole, like, people, I don't know how to explain it, but people were, everybody in the house kind of calmed down. They weren't talking, because we're talking about people's family here, and Kaisha was really triggered. She was like, don't do that. So Katrina now asked her, like, are you daft? I'm telling you that I head manager and you're still insisting that I head mom. And Kaisha was like, yeah, you head manager with my sister, let's assume that, but I told Lucy, and Lucy came to tell you, and now you're agreeing that Lucy told you. So did you still hear manager the second time? So that situation kind of went back and forth. And Kaisha was like, look, I don't want anything to do with, I unfollowed you at that point. My sister unfollowed you at that point because it was like you were being so disrespectful, and that was why we just unfollowed you, because we didn't want to have anything to do with you. Now, you're coming outside the house and saying, like, in this reunion, you're talking about me hating you. I don't hate you. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate you, but I just don't want anything to do with the both of you. And I won't even address what Lucy had been telling me about you, that kind of situation. Like, I don't want to be in that dicey situation, so I wouldn't address it. Let's not talk about it. And then Katrina was like, this is not, let's leave me and Lucy. So I'm like, is it that Lucy was talking bad about Katrina to Kaisha? Because it's going to be a very different situation now. Katrina is going to feel justified, like, look, I knew that there was something off about our friendship. So Lucy tried to defend herself, like, what are you saying? What did I tell you about Katrina? Like, talk now. Since you want to talk, open your mouth and talk. And at this point, Kaisha was like, she doesn't want to talk about it again because her mom is involved and she didn't want anybody to now say anything that will come off as disrespectful. Do you understand? So I understood that, because these housemates, they are moving crazy. So Kaisha was like, she didn't want anything that would come off as disrespect to her mom, so she wanted to die the matter. But Lucy on the other hand was like, no, say what you want to say what you want to say. And then she mentioned the fruit, and Kaisha was like, don't talk about my mom. And Lucy was like, is your mom a fruit? I'm talking about a fruit. Is your mom a fruit? And the next thing, Kaisha threw a pillow at Lucy, and Lucy just, as in, the vim, when Tonani Badge threw that pillow at V and V was calm, Kaisha threw a pillow at Lucy, and Lucy came at her with a slap. Now that place was cut off, because I don't know if that slap happened or it did not happen, but from my end, from what we watched, it was too close to the face to not happen. So that place was cut off, and then Lucy walked out. Now we are back after the break, and we're talking about relationships as well. Now we're not talking Katrina and Tochi, and see, both of them are just a whole lot, because I felt like from the house they had bad energy already. After that, their foot fights, remember that foot fight? From the house, they had bad energy already. So now coming into the reunion, Tochi was saying that it wasn't even really about the house. it wasn't about the house. It wasn't that. Like, when he came out, he tried to give Katrina a chance to be friends with her, but from all indication, like, there was no, that wasn't going to happen at all, because her persona in the house was the same outside the house, and he gave her the benefit of doubt, saying that because they were in an enclosed space, it's possible that people were acting off. Now, he also mentioned the thing where she said that he had 2 left legs and that it was traumatic for him, so why would he go on to being friends with her? And Katrina was like, well, you didn't care about me, you said I was trouble. And Toshi was like, yeah, when I said that in an interview, it was generally, I said you were trouble for everybody. And Kid was like, well, everybody but me, because she wasn't trouble to me. And then it was like comic relief at the time. Everybody just cooled down. But then it went back to talking and, having their issues and stuff. And child, it was a lot. Now, they kept going back and forth, unfollowing each other. Tochi said that, you come down from your high horse, it's not even that high. You're forming boss lady, I don't like bossy people. And Kashina was like, don't call that name anyhow, it's trademarked. And I'm a boss lady, I'm a burst lady. I was just like, what is going on here? So that issue is obviously something that wasn't resolved at all. And then Ebuka had to bring Kidwaya in. So I feel like Kidwaya is like assistant host. It's like here to dissipate the issues, because when Ebuka wants everybody to like calm down and stuff, he just asks Kidwaya, so Kidwaya, help me out here, what do you think? Because he's just out there minding his business. He's not really focusing on anybody's anything, like he's just minding his own. So when he asked Kidwaya was like, I just feel like it was a miscommunication. Do you understand? Like, obviously this person felt a type of way about what Katrina did, but it's fair, because Katrina saying that she didn't feel like anybody cared about her was kind of true, saying that she left the house early, there was no time to bond. So that was really it. So that was basically where we ended the season. Now we're going to be talking about Lilo in the next thing, and then Tonani was also talking about intimacy with Prince at a point. So I'm just like, I can't wait to hear this. I'll definitely be giving you the updates. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode. We look forward to having more episodes with you. Don't forget to like our video, share with your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I beg your pardon. Until next time, my name is Judith, and this is Every NG. Bye.